What if I told you that the fatigue, the low energy, the declining drive you've been experiencing isn't just getting older, and that you could potentially boost your testosterone by 20 to 30% without injections, gels, or prescriptions? Here's what most men don't realize. A groundbreaking study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology followed men over 60 who implemented specific lifestyle changes. Within 12 weeks, their testosterone levels increased by an average of 24%. Some men saw increases of over 40%. No TRT, no medications, just targeted, natural interventions. The fifth approach I'm going to share today is one that most men are unknowingly sabotaging every single day. It's not about what you're doing, it's about what you're consuming without realizing its impact. Once you fix this one factor, research shows everything else works better. I'm saving that for last because it ties the whole picture together. Before we dive in, I want to know, have you been told you have low testosterone? Or have you noticed symptoms like fatigue, low libido, or brain fog? Drop a comment with your experience. I read every single one, and your story might help another man feel less alone. Now let's start by understanding what testosterone actually does in your body and why it matters so much after 60. Here's why understanding testosterone matters more than most men realize. By the time you reach 60, you've likely lost 30 to 40% of the testosterone you had at your peak. By 70, that number can be 40 to 50%. This isn't a disease. It's a natural biological process. But that doesn't mean you're powerless against it. Low testosterone affects far more than just your sex drive. Research links low T to increased fatigue, loss of muscle mass, increased body fat, brain fog, irritability, depression, weakened bones, and yes, reduced sexual function. It affects how you feel every single day. But here's the encouraging news. Unlike some aspects of aging, testosterone levels respond remarkably well to lifestyle interventions. Studies consistently show that natural approaches can meaningfully increase testosterone, often by 20 to 40%, without the risks, side effects, and ongoing costs of hormone replacement therapy. The approaches I'm about to share are backed by peer-reviewed research, and they address the root causes of age-related testosterone decline. Let me explain exactly what's happening in your body. To boost your testosterone naturally, you need to understand why it's declining in the first place. There are 5 primary factors, and most men have multiple factors working against them simultaneously. Your testosterone is primarily produced in the Leydig cells of your testes. Starting around age 30, these cells gradually become less efficient at producing testosterone, roughly 1% decline per year. This is called primary hypogonadism when it becomes significant. Additionally, the signals from your brain that tell your testes to produce testosterone, specifically luteinizing hormone, or LH, also decline with age. It's a double reduction, less signal to produce and less efficient production when signaled. Here's something that surprises many men. As you age, more of your testosterone gets converted into estrogen through an enzyme called aromatase. This enzyme is found primarily in fat tissue, which is why men with more body fat often have lower testosterone and higher estrogen. This conversion accelerates the decline because you're not just producing less, you're also losing more of what you produce. Your blood contains a protein called sex hormone binding globulin, or SHBG. This protein binds to testosterone, making it unavailable for your body to use. As you age, SHBG levels typically increase, meaning more of your testosterone becomes bound and inactive. This is why 2 men can have similar total testosterone levels but feel very differently. One might have more free, usable testosterone than the other. The majority of your daily testosterone is produced during deep sleep, particularly during REM cycles. As men age, sleep quality typically declines. Less deep sleep, more nighttime wakings, reduced REM time. Less quality sleep means less testosterone production. Research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that men who slept less than 5 hours per night had testosterone levels 10 to 15% lower than men who slept 8 hours. Sleep is one of the most overlooked factors in testosterone health. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, has an inverse relationship with testosterone. When cortisol is high, testosterone production is suppressed. This was useful for our ancestors facing short-term threats, but chronic modern stress keeps cortisol elevated constantly, creating a persistent suppression of testosterone. Now, before I dive into the complete solutions, here's something that addresses factor number 4 that you can implement tonight. Set a hard bedtime alarm for 10:30 p.m. Research shows testosterone production is highest during early sleep cycles. Men who go to bed before 11 p.m. consistently show higher testosterone levels than night owls. Just shifting your sleep schedule earlier can start making a difference within days. That's your quick win. Now let me show you the complete picture. Before we get to the solutions, let me address some common misconceptions. Mistake number 1, thinking TRT is the only answer. Testosterone replacement therapy has its place for men with clinically low levels in specific medical conditions. But for many men with moderately low or low normal testosterone, natural approaches can produce significant improvements without the side effects, fertility concerns, and lifetime commitment that TRT requires. Mistake number 2, believing that one magic supplement will fix everything. The supplement industry makes billions selling testosterone boosters that rarely work as advertised. The natural approaches that actually work are lifestyle-based and free or inexpensive. Mistake number 3, assuming decline is entirely inevitable. Yes, some decline is natural, but research shows the rate and degree of decline varies dramatically based on lifestyle factors. Men who optimize these factors maintain significantly higher testosterone levels throughout life. Now let's get into the 5 natural approaches that actually work. If you're ready to take control of your testosterone levels naturally, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I release new videos every week with practical, science-backed approaches for men over 60. Information that can genuinely change how you feel every day. Hit subscribe and the notification bell. Now let's start with natural approach number 1. And this one directly addresses factor number 4. Sleep. The first natural testosterone fix is sleep optimization, and I'm going to give you the exact protocol based on clinical research. Here's why this matters so much. That JAMA study I mentioned found a direct, dose-dependent relationship between sleep duration and testosterone. But it's not just about hours, it's about timing and quality. Your testosterone production follows a circadian rhythm, with the highest production occurring during deep sleep and REM cycles in the first half of the night. Miss that window, and you miss the prime production time. A study from the University of Chicago found that men who slept 4 hours had testosterone levels averaging 200 to 300 nanograms per deciliter, while the same men sleeping 8 hours had levels of 500 to 700 nanograms per deciliter. That's a massive difference, just from sleep. Let me walk you through the research-backed sleep optimization protocol step by step. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, including weekends. Your body's testosterone production is regulated by circadian rhythms. Consistency reinforces these rhythms. Target bedtime, between 10 and 11 p.m. Research shows men who consistently go to bed before 11 p.m. have higher testosterone than those who stay up later, even with the same total sleep hours. The first 3 hours of sleep are when the majority of deep sleep occurs, and deep sleep is when testosterone production peaks. Anything that disrupts this window significantly impacts production. Avoid alcohol within 3 hours of bedtime. While alcohol may help you fall asleep, it severely disrupts deep sleep and REM cycles. Limit fluids 2 hours before bed to reduce nighttime bathroom trips. Keep your bedroom cool. 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit is optimal for deep sleep. Light exposure directly affects melatonin, which influences sleep quality. Get bright light exposure in the morning, ideally sunlight within 30 minutes of waking. This sets your circadian rhythm correctly. Reduce blue light exposure 1 to 2 hours before bed. Use blue light blocking glasses or enable night mode on devices. Make your bedroom completely dark. Even small amounts of light can disrupt sleep hormone production. This is crucial. Sleep apnea, which causes you to stop breathing repeatedly during sleep, is extremely common in men over 60, especially those who are overweight. It dramatically reduces sleep quality and testosterone production. Warning signs include loud snoring, waking up gasping, morning headaches, and excessive daytime fatigue even after adequate sleep. If you suspect sleep apnea, get a sleep study. Treatment with CPAP can significantly improve testosterone levels. What the research shows. Week 1 to 2, improved energy and daytime alertness. Week 2 to 4, measurable improvements in sleep quality. Week 4 to 8, beginning of testosterone level improvements. Week 8 to 12, significant testosterone increases with consistent optimization. One study found that men who improved their sleep quality saw testosterone increases of 10 to 15% within just 2 months without any other interventions. That's natural fix number 1. Now let's move to number 2, which directly addresses how much testosterone your body produces through physical stimulus. Solution 2, resistance training. Now you might be thinking, I've heard exercise helps testosterone, but at my age, does it really make a difference? Let me show you exactly what the research demonstrates. A study published in the European Journal of Applied Physiology examined testosterone responses in men aged 60 to 75 who started a resistance training program. After 12 weeks, participants showed average testosterone increases of 20%, comparable to what some men see with low-dose TRT. Another study from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that even men in their 70s showed significant testosterone increases from weight training. Age is not a barrier to this response. So yes, it absolutely makes a difference. But here's what most men get wrong. The type of exercise matters enormously. What works versus what doesn't. Cardio alone has minimal impact on testosterone. Running, cycling, and swimming are great for cardiovascular health, but they don't significantly boost testosterone. In fact, excessive endurance exercise can actually lower testosterone. Resistance training, lifting weights or using resistance, directly stimulates testosterone production. Your body responds to the challenge of moving heavy loads by producing more testosterone to support muscle adaptation. But not all resistance training is equal. The research shows specific protocols work best. The Testosterone Optimizing Protocol. Focus on compound movements. Exercises that use multiple large muscle groups produce the greatest testosterone response. This includes squats, deadlifts, bench press, rows, and overhead press. For men over 60, safer variations include goblet squats, leg press, chest press machines, seated rows, and lat pull-downs. The key is engaging large muscle groups with meaningful resistance. Lift heavy enough. The research shows you need to challenge your muscles to trigger the testosterone response. Aim for weights that are difficult for 8 to 12 repetitions. If you can easily do 20 reps, it's too light. Keep rest periods moderate. Rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets. This maintains metabolic stress, which contributes to the hormone response. Train 3 times per week. Studies showing the best results used 3 sessions weekly. More isn't necessarily better. Your body needs recovery time to produce testosterone. Sample weekly schedule. Monday, upper body, chest press, rows, shoulder press, bicep curls. Wednesday, lower body, leg press, leg curls, calf raises, core work. Friday, full body, compound movements, lighter weights, higher volume. Each session, 45 to 60 minutes, including warm-up and cool-down. What to expect. Week 2 to 4, improved strength and muscle engagement. Week 4 to 8, noticeable increases in energy and muscle tone. Week 8 to 12, measurable testosterone improvements. Month 4 plus, sustained elevation with continued training. Here's the bonus. Resistance training also reduces body fat, and less body fat means less aromatase enzyme converting your testosterone to estrogen. You're boosting production and reducing loss simultaneously. All right, you've made it halfway through, and you now understand 2 of the most powerful natural testosterone boosters: sleep optimization and resistance training, both backed by solid research showing 15 to 25% improvements. But what I'm about to share next addresses something you're putting into your body every day. And for most men, this is where they're unknowingly sabotaging their testosterone levels. The research on this genuinely surprised me. Plus, after nutrition, I've got 2 more approaches, including the one I mentioned at the beginning, that most men are getting wrong daily. That fifth one explains why some men see great results and others don't. Let's get into natural fix number 3. Solution 3. Testosterone-Supporting Nutrition. Let me tell you about a 63-year-old man. We'll call him Robert. Robert had been experiencing classic low testosterone symptoms for years: fatigue, low motivation, declining libido, and increasing belly fat. His doctor had tested his testosterone and found it at 285 nanograms per deciliter. Low, but not quite low enough for his insurance to cover TRT. Robert was frustrated. He felt stuck between suffering with symptoms and paying out of pocket for hormone therapy. When we talked about his diet, a pattern emerged. Robert ate what most men his age eat: lots of processed foods, frequent fast food, sugary snacks, and he'd recently cut most fat from his diet because he thought that was healthy. I explained how specific nutritional factors directly impact testosterone and suggested targeted changes. Over the next 4 months, Robert made gradual but consistent changes. He increased healthy fats, added specific foods, eliminated some problematic ones, and added 2 evidence-based supplements. At his 4-month follow-up blood test, Robert's testosterone had risen to 412 nanograms per deciliter, a 45% increase. His energy had noticeably improved, his libido was returning, and he'd lost 12 pounds without specifically trying to lose weight. Robert's words: "I had no idea I was basically eating a low testosterone diet. Just changing what I put in my body changed everything." Let me break down exactly what the research shows. Nutritional factors that raise testosterone. Factor 1. Adequate, healthy fats. This is where many men go wrong. Testosterone is literally made from cholesterol. Your body needs dietary fat to produce testosterone. Studies show men on very low-fat diets have significantly lower testosterone levels. Include these daily: olive oil, avocados, nuts, especially almonds and walnuts, fatty fish like salmon, whole eggs, and coconut oil. One study found that men who increased fat intake from 20 to 40% of calories saw testosterone increases of 13%. Factor 2. Zinc. Zinc is essential for testosterone production. Even mild zinc deficiency can significantly lower testosterone. A study in Nutrition Journal found that zinc supplementation increased testosterone in men who were deficient. Food sources include oysters, which have the highest zinc content of any food, beef, pumpkin seeds, chickpeas, and cashews. If you're not eating zinc-rich foods regularly, a supplement of 25 to 30 milligrams daily is reasonable. Don't exceed 40 milligrams daily long-term. Factor 3. Vitamin D. Vitamin D functions more like a hormone than a vitamin, and it's directly involved in testosterone production. A study in hormone and metabolic research found that men who supplemented with vitamin D for 1 year saw testosterone increases of 25% compared to placebo. The problem? Most men over 60 are deficient. Get your levels tested. If you're below 30 nanograms per milliliter, supplement with 2,000 to 5,000 international units daily, or get more direct sunlight. Factor 4. Cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage contain compounds called indoles that help your body metabolize estrogen more effectively. Less estrogen means better testosterone to estrogen ratio. Aim for a serving daily. What to limit or eliminate? Processed foods and sugar. These spike insulin, increase inflammation, and promote fat storage, all of which lower testosterone. Research directly links high sugar intake to lower testosterone levels. Excessive alcohol. Moderate alcohol may not significantly impact testosterone, but regular heavy drinking suppresses production and increases estrogen conversion. Limit to 1 or 2 drinks occasionally, not daily. Soy in large amounts. Soy contains phytoestrogens. While moderate soy is probably fine, large amounts may impact testosterone. Avoid soy protein isolates and heavily processed soy products. Trans fats. Found in many processed and fried foods, trans fats have been directly linked to lower testosterone and impaired testicular function. Evidence-based supplements. Beyond zinc and vitamin D, 2 supplements have solid research. Ashwagandha. This adaptogenic herb has been shown in multiple studies to increase testosterone by 10 to 22% while reducing cortisol. The research dose is 300 to 600 milligrams daily of root extract. Fenugreek. Studies show fenugreek can increase free testosterone by inhibiting the enzyme that converts testosterone to estrogen. Typical dose is 500 milligrams daily. Both have good safety profiles, but check with your doctor if you take medications. The comments on videos like this are filled with men who've implemented these natural approaches and had their testosterone levels retested, often with surprising improvements. One viewer shared, "I'm 66, started resistance training, fixed my sleep schedule, added zinc and vitamin D. 3 months later, my testosterone went from 310 to 445. My doctor was impressed." These natural approaches actually work if you commit to them. That's the key: commitment and consistency. These aren't overnight solutions, but they're sustainable approaches that produce real results. If this is resonating with you, make sure you're subscribed. Share this video with a friend who complains about low energy. They might not realize testosterone is the issue. Now let me share the final two approaches, including the one most men are sabotaging every day. Bonus: stress management and body fat optimization. Natural Fix 4. Stress management. Remember Factor 5, the inverse relationship between cortisol and testosterone? This is where most men unknowingly sabotage themselves daily. When you're stressed, your body prioritizes cortisol production over testosterone. It's using the same raw materials, pregnenolone, to make cortisol instead of testosterone. This is called pregnenolone steal. Chronic stress doesn't just temporarily suppress testosterone, it creates a persistent state where your body is constantly choosing cortisol over testosterone. The Testosterone Protecting Stress Protocol. Daily decompression. Build in 15 to 20 minutes daily of something that genuinely relaxes you. Reading, listening to music, a hobby, time in nature. This isn't luxury, it's hormonal maintenance. Deep breathing practice. When stressed, your nervous system shifts into sympathetic fight or flight mode. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic system. Practice 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale 4 seconds, hold 7, exhale 8. Do this 4 times whenever you feel stressed. Morning sunlight. 10 to 15 minutes of morning sunlight helps regulate cortisol rhythms, ensuring cortisol is high when you wake and low when you sleep, the natural pattern that supports testosterone. Limit news and social media. Constant exposure to negative news and social media conflict keeps stress hormones elevated. Consider designated times rather than constant access. Research from the Journal of Sports Medicine found that men who practiced regular stress management techniques had testosterone levels 20 to 25% higher than chronically stressed men, independent of other factors. Natural Fix 5. Body fat optimization. This is the factor I mentioned at the beginning, the one most men are unknowingly sabotaging every day by carrying excess body fat. Here's the mechanism. Fat tissue contains aromatase, the enzyme that converts testosterone to estrogen. The more fat you carry, the more aromatase you have, and the more testosterone you lose to conversion. Research published in Clinical Endocrinology found that obese men had testosterone levels 30 to 40% lower than normal weight men. But here's the encouraging part. When these men lost weight, their testosterone levels increased significantly. A study in the European Journal of Endocrinology found that for every point of BMI lost, testosterone increased by approximately 2 to 3%. Lose 5 BMI points, potentially gain 10 to 15% testosterone. The strategy. You don't need extreme dieting. The approaches we've already covered, resistance training, better nutrition, improved sleep, stress management, all naturally support fat loss. Focus on sustainable changes. Reduce processed foods and sugar, also lowers insulin resistance. Add resistance training, builds metabolism-boosting muscle, improves sleep, regulates hunger hormones, manage stress, reduces cortisol-driven belly fat storage. As body fat decreases, testosterone increases. It's a positive cycle. More testosterone also makes it easier to build muscle and lose fat. The synergy effect. Here's why addressing all 5 factors produces better results than any single approach. Better sleep increases testosterone production. Resistance training stimulates more production. Proper nutrition provides the raw materials for production. Stress management prevents cortisol from stealing resources. And reduced body fat prevents conversion to estrogen. Address all five, and you're optimizing every stage of testosterone production and preservation. That's why studies show combined lifestyle interventions produce improvements of 30 to 40%. Far more than any single change. Warnings and what to avoid. Before you implement these 5 approaches, there are important warnings to consider. When to consider medical evaluation. If your testosterone is below 200 nanograms per deciliter, you should work with an endocrinologist or urologist. Very low levels may indicate primary hypogonadism, a condition where your testes cannot produce adequate testosterone, even with optimal lifestyle. This may require TRT. If you have symptoms of low testosterone, plus diagnosed pituitary issues, diabetes, or obesity over BMI 35, you need medical supervision alongside lifestyle changes. If you experience sudden testosterone decline with testicular pain, shrinkage, or other symptoms, see a doctor promptly. This could indicate a medical condition requiring treatment. Approaches to avoid. Over-the-counter testosterone boosters. Most products marketed as testosterone boosters have no credible evidence. Some contain ingredients that can actually harm your hormone production. Stick to the evidence-based supplements I mentioned. Pro-hormone supplements. These gray market supplements can actually suppress your natural testosterone production and cause liver damage. They're not worth the risk. Excessive exercise. More is not better. Overtraining, especially excessive cardio, actually lowers testosterone. The resistance training protocol I described is optimal. Don't add more thinking you'll get faster results. Extreme calorie restriction. Very low-calorie diets suppress testosterone production. Moderate calorie reduction for fat loss is fine. Extreme restriction is counterproductive. Realistic expectations. Natural approaches can meaningfully increase testosterone, typically 20 to 40% with comprehensive implementation. For many men, this is enough to resolve symptoms and improve quality of life. However, if your baseline is very low, natural approaches may improve your levels but may not fully resolve symptoms. In such cases, natural optimization combined with medical therapy may be appropriate. The goal is optimization, supporting your body's natural testosterone production as effectively as possible. For some men, that eliminates the need for TRT. For others, it reduces the dose needed or improves results from therapy. Implementation roadmap. Let me give you a clear week-by-week plan to implement all 5 natural fixes. Phase 1. Foundation. Weeks 1 to 2. Establish the sleep optimization protocol. Set consistent bed and wake times. Create a dark, cool sleep environment. Eliminate alcohol and screens before bed. Start basic resistance training. Begin with 2 sessions per week using machines or light weights. Focus on learning proper form. Make initial nutrition changes. Eliminate sugary drinks. Add healthy fats to each meal. Start vitamin D supplementation. Begin daily stress management. Add 15 minutes of relaxation time. Start morning sunlight exposure. Phase 2. Building. Weeks 3 to 6. Increase training to 3 sessions weekly. Add more compound movements. Gradually increase resistance. Deepen nutrition changes. Add zinc-rich foods or supplementation. Include cruciferous vegetables daily. Consider ashwagandha. Refine sleep schedule. Address any remaining sleep disruptors. Consider sleep study if you suspect apnea. Build stress management practice. Add deep breathing exercises. Limit news and social media exposure. By week 6, you should notice improved energy, better sleep, and possibly early libido improvements. Phase 3. Optimization. Week 7 to 12. Full implementation of all 5 approaches. Training at challenging weights 3 times weekly. Nutrition fully dialed in with all testosterone-supporting factors. Sleep optimized with consistent 7 to 8 hours of quality rest. Stress management integrated into daily routine. Consider getting testosterone levels tested at week 12 to measure progress. Phase 4, maintenance, month 4 and beyond. Continue the habits that produced results. They become your new lifestyle. Retest testosterone every 6 months to track progress. Adjust and refine based on results and how you feel. What research suggests you can expect? Weeks 2 to 4, improved energy and sleep quality. Weeks 4 to 8, noticeable improvements in mood and motivation. Weeks 8 to 12, measurable testosterone increases, 15 to 30%. Months 4 to 6, full benefits realized, 20 to 40% increase possible. Ongoing, sustained elevation with continued practice. Let me summarize the 5 natural testosterone fixes for men over 60. Number 1, sleep optimization addresses the prime time for testosterone production. Men who optimize sleep see 10 to 15% improvements from this alone. Number 2, resistance training directly stimulates testosterone production through physical challenge. Research shows 15 to 25% increases from proper training. Number 3, targeted nutrition provides the raw materials for testosterone production while avoiding foods that lower it. Number 4, stress management prevents cortisol from stealing the resources your body needs for testosterone. Number 5, body fat optimization reduces the aromatase enzyme that converts your testosterone to estrogen. Address all 5, and the research shows improvements of 20 to 40% are realistic for most men, without TRT, without prescriptions, without the risks and costs of hormone therapy. I want you to understand something important. Low testosterone is not an inevitable sentence. It's not something you simply have to accept as getting older. Your body still has the capacity to produce testosterone. It just needs the right conditions. Quality sleep, physical challenge, proper nutrition, manage stress, and optimize body composition. The men who implement these approaches consistently see real results. Not overnight, but meaningful improvements that change how they feel every day. More energy, better mood, improved libido, clearer thinking. You have more control over your testosterone than you've been led to believe. Use it. If you found this valuable, watch my video on the foods that naturally boost testosterone. It expands on the nutrition section with specific meal plans and recipes. Link in the description and cards above. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 approaches are you going to implement first? And have you had your testosterone levels tested? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button. Share this video with a friend who complains about low energy or low drive. They need to see this. Your testosterone is your vitality. Protect it naturally. I'll see you in the next video.